Hey Trish, it was so nice to chat with you. Just starting here in the welcome barn. And of course right now there's nothing in here except for scarecrows that are waiting to be stuffed and the new straw bales that arrived. So, so here is the famous door. So people are gonna come through this door, and here is the village green. Right out here. Now I want you to ignore the junk that you're seeing on the left because all of that's going to get moved. I mean, there might be picnic tables, but they're very movable. But here's the hay pyramid that I was talking about. And so the dotted lines, even though there wouldn't necessarily be a path per se, but where people are supposed to go is next to the hay pyramid. Just to kind of give you some perspective, I'm gonna just show you here. Here's a road, and if I go perpendicular, that is the event pasture. So, you know, I went literally perpendicular, a left turn, and if you go through this gate here, across the event pasture to the next gate, that is the nature trail right over there. And following this pasture, which is basically a rectangle, so we're dealing with the left-hand side of the map for a sec. So here's the one gate, and then that other kind of silver gate there, the nature trail. If you just go through that gate, it's basically right there. So there is a road all along the pasture, and when you get to the corner, you make a sharp left and go over a bridge to the orchard, and that's another straight shot. So you just do a zig and a zag. You just drive along this road, and then you make a sharp left over the orchard bridge, and you go straight out, and then the orchard is on your right. So and there's another, you know, you drive along these woods. There's a big pasture on your right, and then you come to the orchard. So that's kind of the basic orientation for that. How you get there from the main parking lot, maybe I should just show you now. So I'm so sorry. I should have started in the parking lot. I didn't do it. And yeah, so it's only been 3 minutes. I have to be careful because it's really hard to upload videos on YouTube that are more than about 14 minutes long. So just a sec. Anyway, so this lovely thing is going to be a mural. I'm going to talk to the mural artist on Thursday. It's going to be like a welcome mural. And this area here, oopsie, this area here is going to be a new little beautiful spot to sit with a little terrace. Okay, so so here's our welcome barn. Here's the parking lot. So it's really just a zigzag again with your brown line. Oh gosh, how do I get down? Okay. So it's a big blob of a unpleasant parking lot. But basically, so here's the welcome barn. There is a little road that's actually probably going to change directions, but it's this little road here, and it's the one, it's going to change directions a little bit. So maybe don't put that road on there. Anyway, to get to that orchard road that I just showed you, you have to go like clear across the parking lot, and it's just pretty unpleasant. Now, hardly anyone is going to have to drive out here for any reason. I would say 0 people this year are going to need to make this drive, but normally we do invite people to drive out to pick apples. We're not going to do that this year, but you can see the road kind of curves around to the left, and then it curves around to the right. And then in just a second, that is going to be the road that I just showed you along the pasture. So from here, it's a pretty straight shot. I mean, it does curve, but basically it's going to go along that big pasture and then shortly make a left over the orchard bridge. So that's that line from the parking lot, kind of bearing left and bearing right through a gate. You know, it's such a tiny, unimportant thing. I mean, we call this the landscaper area, and it's just always like this. It's ugly. There's a lot of crap. Trucks. Okay, I'm just going to come back over here. The main thing I want to show you is the Cider Barn Hill. Just to give you a sense of what that is. So let me see how I can get around here. Okay, here we go. There's our green again. Okay. So, the little dotted line is going to go around the hay pyramid, and it's going to go so this road that I showed you, that little one that's going to change, it's going to go in front of that mural, and it's actually going to swing around here. So all of this is going to be green someday, but not this year. Okay, we've come around the hay pyramid, and there is a gate. So they should walk through the gate. But it is kind of silly. We don't really need the gate. There is one little bonfire there. There are other bonfires in the back, but we're not doing bonfires this year. I mean, it really would be helpful. You know, straight across from the bonfire, there's 1 bonfire, 2 bonfire, 3 bonfire, 4. Actually 4 little bonfires. And when I told you the bunny groves were on the other side of the bonfires, they're on the other side of these big guys. So these are 2 big. This is called the double ring. And the bunny grove is behind that orange tractor right there. So we came from the hay pyramid in front of the double ring. Here's the wooden maze. And I'll put them on the proper path. The Old Time Farm Museum is right here. So that's the CSA barn. But on this side, you see it's the Old Time Farm Museum. Okay. And right now, the ducks are here. The quail are there. And, you know, we have the sign here because the chicken yard is that way. That's the horse barn and the chicken yard. And then this way, this is the main path that I was saying. So you've come in, you know, here's a porta pot that's always going to be here, and then you swing up the hill. This is Cider Barn Hill. This is what you were calling the Animal Hill. And the wooden maze is on the left. The A-frame chicken house is somewhere, you know, always around here on the right. Here's the Rabbitat on the left. It's quite large. Of course, I just blew it up. And then here's the playground, which is quite large. But everything is taking us up to the cider barn. Ooh, and you know, just sorry, because I'm nervous that I'm going to go past my my time here for the movie. But the Bunny Grove is right back there. It's just on the other side of that orange tractor. So the double ring, the orange tractor and the Bunny Grove, you know, it's kind of, so anyway, here we go. Playground, horse barn. This is little horse pastures right here. So above the Bunny Grove is horse pastures. And then we have the goats. The goat pasture. So those are the goats. And it's really not all for the goats, but this year they get to eat the grass here. Then our growing fields, the ones that you had the corn, we don't have corn this year. But this is the growing field and the bridge. So you can have the the bridge to nowhere. It's the corn maze bridge. And then over here is that greenhouse that you have. So here's this end of the cider barn. It's a Gaga pit. But the road, I was trying to explain, is flanked by two greenhouses. And then the children's garden is right over here. And I just don't know. I don't think it's necessary to include the children's garden. But there it is. That's the entrance. So that's kind of the edge of our campus. So I'm going to turn this off, but there's one little other thing I'll show you at the bottom of the hill.